Hello, Taurus. Welcome to your weekly reading. Let's go ahead and get started here with the tarot, with the oracle cards. So what is it that Taurus needs to know for March 2025, starting with the Moonology card? It says a time for healing. Okay, now I don't know that. Well, I mean, it is Pisces season, specifically through the first part of March. We've got a lot of Pisces activity. And I do say that Virgo Pisces really is like the healer's axis, not to mention that we do have a total eclipse. I think I've been saying solar eclipse on accident. It's a full moon, it's a total lunar eclipse in Virgo. So that's your fifth house there. We do have that on March 14th. So again, Virgo, Pisces, there's a lot of healing opportunities for us now to really kind of let go and overcome and forgive and to have mercy for people. You know, I'm not saying to like take toxic people back into your life, even though you know they're going to repeat the pattern. I'm not saying anything like that, but I am saying, you know, it's time for you to move on. And it's time for you to kind of open up your hopes and your dreams and allow yourself to start walking through and to start shining and to start showing up in a way that is bigger and more profound and more fulfilling for you. And I think this is going to be an interesting turnaround type of month. It is pretty intense. We've got a lot going on. Your ruling planet Venus is retrograde as of March 1st. So that's going to be a whole big thing too. So we got Venus, we got the eclipse, we have Mercury coming through his pre-shadow. So he's going to prepare for a retrograde as well. And I just think it's time for things to start turning around, and it's time for us all to just focus on what is yet to come rather than focusing on the past. Okay, so now we have the mouse spirit, which says tend to the small things, which really speaks to the day-to-day. And that full moon in Virgo is absolutely going to demand that we focus on the small things. It's going to focus on our routine, on our habits, on our nutrition, our exercise regimens. It's going to focus on, you know, how we handle our administrative tasks, our emails and phone calls, how well organized are we really going to be. We want to keep in mind that Pisces and Virgo seasons are one of the two most important preparatory seasons, okay? Where Pisces prepares us for the spring equinox here in the northern hemisphere, vernal equinox in the south. And that equinox point represents a massive season of change. Spring and autumn both is where we actually can visibly see and feel the energy starts to really flow. There's a lot of movement over the next 3 months through April, May, and June. And so the small things is really where we set up our lives so that the next 3 months can be very successful. Okay. And I think actually a lot of your healing will be found in the small things. So whether it's a spring cleaning out your house, your office, your closet, your wardrobe, whatever, you can do that. You can do lots of meditation, kind of do a spring cleaning of your mind, your soul, and that will be really healthy for you moving forward. Okay, so what else do we need to know here for Taurus? We have the two of Wands, Ace of Wands, and the Star. Okay, because it does seem that there is a dream or a vision. Now, you may be doing this alone or working with someone. It might be a partner or something along those lines. But I do think Two of Wands, it's kind of a no funny business type of card. Okay, this is a card that we have to focus. We have to kind of treat our lives like a business. Now, you may be a business owner, you may not be, but I think we have to treat our lives like a business. I'm not saying you can't have fun and have amusement and enjoy your life and all of that, but in terms of kind of in the interest of moving the needle, which I think is the theme for the entirety of 2025. And I've mentioned this theme since January or this is a time where we have to really work to kind of budge that needle on that compass so that we can ultimately go where we're trying to go. And it is requiring a lot of conscious effort on our part. And that conscious effort requires exactly that, conscious effort. We have to be extremely present in what we're doing, especially with the small things. We have to be intentional with what we're doing. We have to understand how these tasks and the way we're spending our time contribute to the overall picture or the overall dream, as we see here with the star. We have to understand what is a waste and what is useful. And we have to eliminate waste as much as possible. So if we are wasting our time binging TV shows, and as much as I love reading and I think reading is great, it's similar, to a degree, like kind of leisurely activities. I'm not saying you can't do anything. I'm not being so extreme like that. But I am saying that if it is detracting or swaying, or if it's causing any type of avoidance, or if it's being prioritized over other things that should be prioritized, then it's time for you to kind of do a little bit of a reset. Okay, because I think a big part of your healing is actually found in accomplishment, Taurus. Your accomplishment and achievement is the very thing that is going to heal you. This is not about let me heal and then I will achieve. This is more I will achieve and I will be healed. Okay? So the Ace of Wands is telling me that the more focused you are and the more, I think, more implicit that you can be with and intentional with what you're doing, this Ace of Wands, I think the desire is going to grow. The desire to expand, the desire to adventure, the desire to take on new passions, it's going to get stronger and stronger and stronger. The trick here is alignment with the star, okay? And again, there's a lot of healing that happens with the star card as well. But all these are really meant to help align you to that big picture. Now, I will tell you that Pisces season is the perfect time. Now, if you're a member of my Soul Seekers group, please know that I am going to be doing similar to last year, but I'm going to be changing the format quite a bit on a holistic manifestation course that begins in Pisces season. And we begin in Pisces because this is a time for us to dream. And we dream in preparation for the equinox, for the beginning of the new year. And this is where all the fantasies and the delusions and the wild images of, ridiculous $250 million yachts and the love of your life. That's not ridiculous, but, like the really big stuff to come into your life. Like this is the time when we need to dream about that stuff, so that when we hit Aries, Taurus, and Gemini, we can slowly align ourselves in that direction. But this is a time to dream. It's a time to put your vision board together. It's a time to journal. It's a time to kind of set your goals. And I would say this is a much more powerful and astrologically supported time to set New Year's resolutions, specifically as we approach Aries season on the 20th of March, okay? But anyway, that's neither here nor there. There's like an alignment happening, okay? So here we have the Queen of Wands. Here we have the High Priestess. And now we have the Death. Okay, so Taurus, I like the wand energy because it does speak to your passion and your fire. And I know we don't really talk about that with earth signs, but we have to remember that on one hand, many earth signs in Western astrology are actually Vedic fire signs. So many of you are actually Vedic Aries. And so I think you do kind of have, many of you, not all of you, but many of you do have, that bite. You have that aggression. You have that fight in you. And I see that often with the Queen of Wands. I always call her my bulldog, right? She's the one who can really just grab onto something and go after it. And it feels like the desire is strong and it's healthy and it's pulling you in the right direction, and I don't see you being swayed in any way, shape, or form. I feel like the desire is really, really potent, and there may actually be some levels and degrees of anxiety and stress that are actually being caused by this desire as well. That is not a bad thing, okay? If you desire something so badly that it's causing stress, I think that's a sign. In this instance, I'm not saying this is always the case, but in this instance, I think that is a sign that you need to make certain adjustments. And I will tell you, with Venus retrograde in Aries, those adjustments are being called up, okay? And they specifically have a lot to do with how we move our body, because it is in Aries, has a lot to do with our sense of self, how we are, our kind of our whole essence of us. And the adjustments of the essence of us are more feasible right now, right? Where we can actually make those changes a little bit more easily than normal. That nothing that you see right now is completely set in stone. There's a lot of malleability to things, all right? So it's not like you're not locked in this particular moment. And I think the idea that you're not locked into any circumstances, you're not locked into any way of being, like this is not the time to say, well, this is just who I am. This is a terrible time to do that and say, well, I'm not going to because I don't want to, and that's just who I am. I think you are limiting yourself and shooting yourself in the foot. You're only hurting yourself by saying something like that. Okay, so if there's a way of being that you can adopt to help you accomplish your goal, now is the time to do it, right? Tend to the small things. Now is the time to do those little things, to tweak your behaviors, to tweak your habits, to tweak your mindset. It doesn't have to be big or huge in any way, but it is important so that you can actually get to that destination, okay? High Priestess tells me that it's clear that there is something surfacing that has been repressed or hidden for quite some time, and it's now time for you to deal with. And this is maybe something that you either didn't know was there or you have known was there, but either just didn't have the necessity to deal with it. But now is the time. I think it is absolutely necessary to deal with it. And the fact that we have the Death card right next to it says not only deal with it, but to actually transform. Okay, to transmute it. So whatever issue you have, maybe it's an insecurity, maybe it's a fear, maybe it's, an unhealed child wound of some sort, okay? But it's going to probably come up in the face of this big picture and the person that you need to become in order to attract that. It's going to come up. And you're going to have to deal with it, and you're going to have to transmute it, and you're going to have to channel that energy more positively. Instead of pushing it inside and down, you have to let it go. Okay, that's what Pisces season is so good for, is the release and surrender of things, because that stuff you may have thought was keeping you safe. It's definitely not keeping you safe at this point. Right now, it is keeping you stagnant. And I don't think Taurus is really all up for that right now, okay? So let's see what comes through with the rest of the cards. Starting with Seven of Swords. Ace of Coins, and then we have the Two of Coins, which I just saw there. Okay. So the Seven of Swords is often an indication of, now, on one hand, I can see this as self-sabotage type of self-betrayal, and that tendency to run away. Now, there will be Taurians who look their destiny in the face and know that all they have to do is change these few little things. All they have to do is focus. All they have to do is invest, and they simply won't do it. And I think the tendency to do it, it's here, okay? It's showing up literally in the cards. And to be honest, this is the only card that kind of gives me an icky feeling. All the rest are very beautiful. You may all have to contend with this to some degree. You may all have to contend with that notion of running back into the comfort zone. It's extremely common for fixed signs to struggle with this degree of evolution in such a short period of time. But I think it's the consciousness and awareness that is going to save you from this. Because people who are not conscious and aware of themselves, they're going to, it's so tempting. The temptation to run back into comfort is so strong. But the problem with running back into comfort is that it doesn't allow you to achieve so that the healing can be done. And you'll have to kind of come back up against this at some point in the future. This is not going to go away. This is going to be like a wave that just keeps crashing against the rock over and over and over and over until you finally do something about it. So now is a great time to do it because we are so flexible and we have a lot of flexibility in the chart. We have a Mercury pre-shadow. Okay, so I think when Mercury is kind of going backwards, kind of doing his thing. Now, he's not technically retrograde yet. He officially retrogrades on the 15th. So the beginning of the month, he'll be pre-shadow. We got 2 weeks of that. And then he will retrograde through Aries. He's going to be kind of hand in hand with Venus retrograde. And it's just like with Mercury involved, anything becomes possible because he's so all over the place, right? So there's a lot of like infinite possibility. But if you don't have the mind to contend with infinite possibility, then this just simply is not, it's not going to flow, right? It's not going to work all that well. You're going to run back to what you know, and you're just going to have that same pain to deal with. Now, the Seven of Swords can also be someone else, okay, where they don't like what you're doing. They don't like the way you're becoming. They don't like the way you're changing. I think some people do have those types of relationships in their lives where the more they succeed, the more they grow, the more sour other people get. Of course, that has really nothing to do with you, Taurus. Nothing, honestly. It all has everything to do with them and their jealousy or whatever, but it may be around you, and hopefully you don't have to deal with that too much if it is someone else. I don't really see this person really kind of injecting themselves into your process. I don't see them getting too involved, but I do see that energy around you. So that's there. But now we have the Ace of Coins. Now, again, some Taurians may be running away from the Ace of Coins. Like, here's a great opportunity, same as the Ace of Wands, and then, oh, I don't want to take it. It's too scary. Requires too much of me, whatever. But I think the majority of you, the ones who are here watching tarot and astrology videos, people who are trying to grow spiritually and trying to really understand themselves and the forces at play, will take that Ace of Coins gratefully and with a great deal of appreciation and understanding that this is something good and meaningful and beneficial, and that this is something to grow. Now, the fact that we have two aces tells me that you're just dealing with potentials right now, and tells me how fragile everything is, okay? Everything is so fragile. Two of Coins, I know you've got a lot on your plate. You have a lot to deal with. You have a lot of responsibilities and obligations. But right now, I think it's time for you to start prioritizing your life. You need to start prioritizing the new stuff that's coming in that aligns with your destiny or the kind of the big picture, the place you're trying to get. Think of the things that align with that and deprioritize the rest, which might be one of the hardest parts of this. I think deprioritization is extremely difficult if you are in a place of comfort. Because it challenges that comfort significantly, and it challenges your idea of equilibrium, okay? Because I think you are going to have to throw those scales off. You're going to have to do it on purpose this time in order to create room and space for these aces to really grow. Because again, these are just potentials. Now, a lot of people are going to get the potential and run away and not do anything with it. But then there's those who are going to take it and cherish it and nurture it. And those are the ones that are going to see really big and meaningful changes for their lives this year in 2025. Okay. Pisces season is a pivotal season. It's a very important season. It's not just like, oh, end of the zodiac. It's like, again, preparing for the next year to come. So it matters what we do. It matters how we spend our time. All right. So let's see what comes through here with the Two of Wands. Now, for those of you who are new, I'm going to be doing a comprehensive reading where we talk for another 25 to 30 minutes about all the additional cards I'm about to pull out. We pull out maybe like 27 new cards, maybe a little bit more. 3 cards per card. We open these up. We really dig into kind of what the message is really trying to say in a very deep way. And we often extract a lot more information. So if you want to join for the comprehensive, the link will be in the description box and the comment thread down below. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started here with the Two of Wands. So what is it that Taurus needs to know for March? We have a Nine of Wands, a Nine of Swords, and an Eight of Swords. Okay. Wheel of Fortune, Five of Cups, Chariot, Ace of Cups, Three of Coins. Oh, I didn't mean to pull out 2, but that's okay. We'll take both since that came out. Eight of Cups and the Empress. Seven of Coins, the Emperor, and the Page of Cups. Six of Wands, and there's a Taurus card, the King of Coins, and a King of Swords. I kind of like the King energy for you a lot this month. Another Star, a Sun, beautiful Major Arcana, and another Two of Wands. Four of Swords, Death, Judgment, Four of Coins, Two of Swords, Two of Cups. And last but not least, Taurus, for the Two of Coins, we have the Knight of Swords, the Fool, and a Knight of Wands. All right, Taurus, so this is where we're going to pick up in the comprehensive. So if you want to join, you are more than welcome. Thank you all so much. I hope you have a lovely month, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.